Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Marcus Stuck. It's a very big pleasure and a big honor to be here with you. The most important man who put the scientific research inside the Biodanza world. And this is a very amazing work from a didactic of Biodanza and director of the Biodanza School of Latvia. So, Marcus, our inner curiosity is to know why science is so important for Biodanza in this moment of the growth of the Biodanza movement. And thank you for accepting this invitation.
No, of course, Giovanna. I'm so happy about your forum because it just goes parallel to this what we are doing because you work in institutions and you open up the space of Biodanza to the world. I call it outside. Okay, so when I see the forum is like an invitation of so many different people who have nothing to do with Biodanza. And in the same way, it's the function of the science because it's not a question of power. The science. It's not a question of power. It's not a question to gain a position or something. No, it's a question of putting questions. This is the main thing, the central thing in the scientific study, and to answer the question related to scientific studies that you investigate something. Yes, and so by doing this, you gain a lot of information which are hidden. For instance, if Rolando Toro makes the theory of the transtasis, it means that because of Biodanza, there are a lot of jumps, yes, in another development. We have, for instance, investigate these jumps, yes, because you can find them in different areas. For instance, in physiology, you can find them, or you can also find them in the immune system. And now it's very interesting in which context these jumps are appearing, yes. And we found, for instance, that the instabilities in the physiological regulation is very important to produce a jump on another level, as well as in the immune system. So Biodanza somehow works a lot with expression of emotion. This makes a chaos in the regulation, in the physiological regulation, but also in the regulation of the immune system. It's depend on how deep you go with Biodanza. And to understand this mechanism, under which conditions these systems then jump in a better autoregulation. This is an interesting question in Biodanza. And of course, we have investigated it, we have published it, and this knowledge then goes back. This is the ideal case, goes back to the Biodanza schools, and they can make a wider conscious to the Biodanza teachers that they understand what they are doing and what their exercises have an effect in the body and related to Biodanza related studies, not studies which you can read in different books about the effect of music or the effect of dance. We need Biodanza specific studies to think about our system, under which conditions it's unfold its fullest potential. And this is the role of science. The science prove a theoretical model and develop a theoretical model based on empirical studies.
Wow.
Yes.
Very
Yes, it's very complex. I think, Giovanna, we need to understand that Biodanza works on a non-verbal level, in an irrational level. Yes, and at the moment I'm writing on a biocentric theory based on scientific studies. And there is one basic assumption which say you have to cross the rational level to understand the mechanisms, what happen in Biodanza, under which conditions, and which people benefit from a certain Biodanza style, or which people don't benefit from this. Maybe it's too much also for people. So you need to understand it in a rational, intellectual way to cross this rational field to, as a teacher, to be able to work in the irrational field. It helps. I always call it this intellectual dance, and this reflection and based on empirical data is necessary for each discipline which works with people.
Yes,
Yes.
because when we began Biodanza, doing and teaching Biodanza, do you remember that Biodanza was considered like a new age path?
See,
And
see,
I'm saying that with all my respect, with all new
of
age
course.
um,
Yes,
things. But now is considered the biodanza thanks to your work and the all work on clinical and social biodanza and evidence-based pedagogy. So
exactly,
this is a jump, and
exactly.
you come to supervise a work about spirituality and science. So the borders are quite changed during the last
Yes,
50
yes,
years.
yes, Giovanna, absolutely true. That you mentioned that biodanza was developed 30, 40 years ago from Rolando Toro, but the time developed too, and the disciplines developed too. And I see it in your way that we enter a way also in science, because the quantum physics, they say we cannot reach the non-material level. It's not possible without considering the spiritual experience and the spiritual knowledge. And I think this is the jump which we do at this moment also in science. Yes, I call it biocentric science, and there are some principles which you have to consider. For instance, the principle of duality, or the principle that the visible is formed by the invisible. So you need to have some scientific principles to study also spirituality. This is very important. But as you say, that there is the connection between these two aspects of life. It's very, very important to work on it. And um, probably the vivencia, the experience, is one of the research methods of the future in the science, and has to be in the biocentric science. Yes, I agree with you completely.
Wow. Thank you very much, Marcus. And for closing, what could be your personal invitation to the forum? Can you say something to all people, all friends?
Yes. No, I mean, if you really, I mean, I know the forum many years now, and I have a lot of respect for the development of the forum. And if you want to experience really um, a unique experience of bringing disabled people, like the field of inclusion, of bringing science, of bringing the old dinosaurs of biodanza, because they also can transmit a lot of knowledge, like Maita, for instance, yes, uh, and being in a very warm community, because these are these days. It's just happening. It's a growing for your mind. It's an inclusion and experience with people who are completely happy what I have experienced, and they send a message to disabled people. It's amazing what you can experience. It's a life experience to go to the forum, and you have to support this, or we have to support this movement of you, because it's unique in the movement of biodanza, and it goes also in my direction, where I say the science and the experience, the practice and the science and the theory has to come together. And in the forum, it comes in a beautiful way together. And I hope you come, because this is the only way to maintain the forum for
Thank
the
you very
future.
much. Thank you very much for being from much time, from many years, from many edition at the center, on the core mission of the forum. And we wait
Joanna,
for you with very,
of
very
course.
full of gratitude. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Giovanna. Thank you very much, Giovanna. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.